Hello and welcome. Today we are looking at the COFIGHT 1802 drone, courtesy of GearBest.com. Check out their site for more cool quadcopters just like this one. This is a small 6-axis gyro quadcopter that very much resembles the Ryze Tello. It has a built-in 720p HD wide-angle lens camera that has Wi-Fi FPV streaming. It has auto takeoff, auto land, and plenty of other neat features. So let's check it out. Now the drone comes in this nice small square box here. It says COFIGHT number 1802 drone, 6-axis gyro quadcopter for ages 14 plus, 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi FPV. And you can see a clear view of the gray model, or a black and white photograph here in the front. Right here at the top it shows a red model, and here on the sides it basically just says drone, camera, and here it shows all its features such as 360 flips, one key return, headless mode, so on and so forth. So pretty nice there. Here at the back it shows that there are three models, or three types. There's the 480p version, a 720p, and a 1080p, but this model is the 720p Wi-Fi, and pretty cool. And this package that we got has the 3 battery set. Basically one battery for the quadcopter, and it has 2 additional batteries. So pretty cool. So without further ado, let's open it up and see what's inside. We've got here a little plastic cover. And here you can see the drone very nicely packed right there with its transmitter. So right here is the drone. Very nice looking here. It says COFIGHT. And then right over here we have the transmitter. Very nice. It's kind of like a DJI type transmitter. Small black transmitter there. Pretty nice. Put that there. Here are some propeller guards, as you can see. Here's a little warning sticker there. And then here at the bottom we have a few more items in there. We have the spare propellers and charger, and then we have the instruction manual, and we have the pamphlet for the app with the QR codes. So that's essentially it. So now let's take one last look at the contents of the box. Now, taking a last look at the contents of the box, we have the drone itself. This package includes 2 extra 3.7 volt 1000 milliamp LiPo batteries, along with the one in the quadcopter. 4 spare propellers, 4 propeller guards, the transmitter, the USB charge cable for the batteries, and the instruction manuals. So that's essentially the contents of the box. Now let's take a closer look at the drone. Now, taking a closer look at this quadcopter, this is a neat looking small quadcopter that very much resembles the Ryze Tello. And as you can see here on the top, it says COFIGHT, and it has its on-off button right here at the top. And this is a brushed motor quadcopter, and the propellers are real easy to add and remove. You just snap them or slide them off and snap them back on. There is no screw on them. And right here at the front there is its 720p tiltable camera. As you can see here, tilts about 45 degrees, and it is a HD wide-angle lens camera, and I believe it's 2 megapixels. And unfortunately, there is no SD card slot anywhere on the quadcopter. So all the footage filmed with this camera is purely saved on the app through Wi-Fi streaming. So unfortunately, there will be some frame skips and possibly some interference if the Wi-Fi connectivity is not too good. And down below here, you could see its rubbery landing legs, which do a good job at protecting its landings. Unfortunately, they are a little loose, so they could come off, so you may want to apply some additional adhesive to them, but overall they are pretty good. Right here in the back we have its 3.7 volt 1000 milliamp battery. Now this battery charges right here on the side through this port, and the charging process takes anywhere from an hour to 90 minutes, and it does supply the quadcopter with around a 10-minute flight time, so that's pretty good. And as far as lights for orientation, there's mainly two lights here in the front, so if you keep this button pressed, you'll see that it has two lights there. But unfortunately, there's no additional lights on the legs or anything like that. There is a small light here at the bottom and two lights there, but that's about it. So okay for orientation, but it could have been a little better. Here at the bottom, there's no optical flow camera or sensors or anything like that, like the other similar small quadcopters like the Ryze Tello or the Parrot Mambo or anything like that. But in any case, it has a very smooth and steady hover, and it is a very durable quadcopter. It is well constructed, and just a good quality little quadcopter. So now let's take a closer look at its transmitter. Now, taking a closer look at the transmitter, it does highly resemble a DJI type transmitter. It's small, compact, and sleek, yet very comfortable. And in fact, the bottom portion here slides out quite a bit, and you could put a pretty large cell phone or a very small tablet, but definitely not a large tablet, down here. And this transmitter does take 3 AA batteries, so 3 AA's. And briefly going over the controls here, we have the left throttle stick and right rudder stick. We have the directional trims, the on-off button, the auto takeoff, and the auto land buttons. And right here at the top, we have the 360 flip button. So once you push that, you can move the rudder in the direction you want the quadcopter to flip, and it will flip. Right here we have the rates of speed. And right here we have the 1 key return, and I believe if you keep it pressed, it's an emergency shutoff. And right here we have the headless mode. So those are essentially all the controls. Now these antennas are most likely aesthetic, because it doesn't appear like there's any wiring or anything running into them. They're just two pieces of plastic here to give the impression of powerful antennas, but they don't seem to serve an actual purpose. And they are foldable, as you can see. But that's essentially it. Those are the controls, the antenna, the battery case, and the cell phone mount. Now this transmitter does provide the quadcopter with around 100 to 150 meters worth of range. So now let's take a look at the app and setting up for a first-time flight. Now, setting up for a first-time flight is pretty straightforward. Once you have a fully charged battery inserted into the quadcopter and fresh batteries in the transmitter, the first step is you want to turn on the quadcopter by pushing on its on-off button right there. Next, you want to bind the transmitter to the quadcopter, so you turn on the transmitter right here in the center through its on-off button. And then you bind it by putting the left throttle stick up and down, like so. Once it's bound, a good first step is to calibrate the gyros by putting both sticks down and to the right, like so. And once that's done, the gyros will be calibrated. Make sure to do that on a flat surface at the ground level without the quadcopter moving. Next, you want to enter the app to get a live Wi-Fi FPV feed. So let's do that right now. Now, once in your mobile device's Wi-Fi settings, you want to look for an entry that says HTS dash and a serial number, and you want to connect to that. Initially, there is no default Wi-Fi password, so you just simply connect to that. And at that point, you want to launch this app, which is HTS UFO, and it has this icon that says HT UFO. But the app is in the Android and iOS app stores, and it's called HTS-UFO. So you want to launch that first, and you will be greeted with that screen right there. And right here we have some settings where you can change parameters here, whether you hear a button tone through the app, 720p interface preview, and other options here. Obviously the SD card options don't apply. And you can also see some help here on using the app, but mainly you want to start out with this button right here in the center. And as you can see, we already have a live feed here with the quadcopter. And the range of the FPV is about 50 to 100 meters. So not too bad. Going through the app, this will take you back to the main screen. This will take a picture. This will shoot a video. This will view your photo gallery with your taken pictures and videos. This button right here will activate the virtual controls on the mobile device, so you can actually fly this quadcopter just using your mobile device. So the transmitter is optional. And so once you have the virtual controls, this button right here in the center is for altitude hold. So notice the left throttle stick is down, and if you push that, now it's centered. So you have a centered throttle stick. Right here, if you do more, you'll get access to the other advanced controls. You have your auto takeoff, auto land, your trims, your throttle and rudder. This will do voice commands. So if you push that and say forward, it will fly forward, backwards, and other simple commands. This will do the 360 flips. This will allow you to view a split screen view to view them in cell phone goggles. This will flip the screen upside down. This will turn on and off the lights of the quadcopter, as you can see. This will calibrate its gyros. This will do a one key return. This will put the quadcopter in headless mode. This key right here will allow you to do waypoint mode, where you can draw a path and it will fly that path in accordance to the rudder stick. And this is the speed or rates button here, and there's 3 rates. You have green, orange, which is the middle rate, and if you press it again, you have the red high speed rate. And this final mode right here is to fly with the gyroscope. So if you push that, you can tilt your mobile device in the direction you want the quadcopter to fly in, and it will fly in that direction. So that's essentially it for the app. So now let's take the quadcopter out for a flight to see how she performs. It's a very agile, quick quadcopter. It would have been nice to have an SD card on the quadcopter to have smoother footage, but it is a smooth flyer with a smooth hover. So let's take her out for a small flight.